Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again back to EdgeMate. My name is Chad, your host, partner at Bridgepoint Technologies. And today's guest is Abhi from Baytech Recovery, founder. And the industry that we're going to talk about is called the ITAD industry, information technology or IT asset disposition. And Baytech Recovery is a leader in that space in the Bay Area, among other places. And without further ado, Abhi, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into the ITAD industry?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, Chad. I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for your listeners that are also tuning in. A little bit about myself. Me and my family, we immigrated from India when I was about 10 years old. And then I was born in India, raised pretty much in the East Bay my entire life. Lived in Fremont, went to Oliver Elementary, Thornton Junior High, American High School, and then graduated from Cal State East Bay. So pretty much lived in, breathed East Bay.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the San Francisco. This is where the podcast is.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding. You're everywhere.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, no, it's growing up in the East Bay, Oakland was close by, so the Raiders and A's and stuff like that, there was always that rivalry.
Now it's Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, now it's Las Vegas. Yeah, I think we're probably going to have to move Baytech out there because it feels like there's another East Bay that's like building out there. But yeah, Raiders are there, the A's are there, so it's cool. But I love San Francisco. We are Bay Area technology, so we love all of Bay and for what it stands for and all the innovation that it's put forward in the Silicon Valley. A little bit about Baytech Recovery. My brother and I pretty much founded this company together. My brother's had about, I would say, close to 20 years of IT experience now, just working for startups and just working with different types of companies in the industry and as a contractor. And then after that, he was just kind of tired of the whole corporate gig, and he was like, I want to do something on my own. I see that my company's getting rid of all these laptops all the time, and let's start a recycling business. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting idea given his IT background. I kind of jumped in on the business side and kind of became the face of it, and he focused more so on the operations and the IT kind of just overseeing all the entire IT operations, ensuring that there's proper grading that's happening to our product and proper data destruction that's happening and things of that nature. So yeah, he pretty much, we started from a little small, probably half the size of this room office, to now about 15,000 square feet of warehouse space in Hayward. And
that's right. You just opened up a brand new facility.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And we've got a pretty large facility and about, I would say, 20 people that are working on our team right now. That includes business development, shipping, warehousing, e-commerce, and everything. So it's been a pretty sweet run so far. But Baytech Recovery in itself was incorporated about, I would say, probably in 2020, and back 4 years ago, after we stopped our recycling business because we were tired of collecting, or people calling us to collect cans and water bottles because that's what they thought what we were offering. So a little bit of a marketing glitch, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Recycling is kind of a ubiquitous term.
Exactly. People were calling us about tires. People were calling us about weird things, even though it said clearly on our website we do not take
relationships. They want to recycle the relationships.
Yeah. a lot of divorce contracts were coming through.
So basically we have a couple segments here at EdgeMate. We have the Icebreaker segment, the SWOT analysis. So I want to save some of your content for the SWOT analysis. And then, where everybody's is waiting for is the tarot card reading at the end. But yeah, let's do a couple icebreaker questions.
Let's do it.
And then, all right. So the first question, are you a morning person or a night person?
Ooh.
I know this is an easy answer for me.
I used to be a night person, but ever since, business got real, I had to force myself to become a morning person. So I would say deep down inside, I'm a night person, but at the moment, I'm a morning person.
We'll say I need coffee before I become a morning person.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
totally.
yeah, I agree with
Totally.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Otherwise, not happening.
No, don't talk to me.
Exactly.
I don't even open my emails.
All right. And then, how do you feel about asking for help when you need it? Oh, this is a good one.
How do you feel about asking for help when you need it? I feel totally fine. I realize that in reality in life, you're never gonna not kind of learn. So asking for help is just another form of learning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't mind asking for help. I've asked for plenty. I don't ask for handouts, financial handouts.
Yeah.
But asking for help, definitely. I think if you
knowledge,
need it,
asking for knowledge, not money.
Exactly.
I'm not afraid to ask for money. All right. Well, okay. So now we'll go on to the SWOT analysis stage.
Okay.
So what are some strengths of Baytech Recovery in the ITAD space? What are some of your strengths?
I would say our ability to kind of service anybody anywhere globally on a larger scale, especially for enterprise businesses. We are an R2V3 certified company that ensures proper downstreaming of all electronics that passes through our hands. Along with that, all of our partners are completely NAID certified, which is like the proper requirements in the data destruction industry. And having those in our back pocket allows us to pretty much work freely all throughout the world, anywhere with partners that are similar to like ours. And then along with that, we abide by pretty much all requirements to work within different countries and different areas and different kind of remote regions, even in certain cases. So I would say that's probably one of our strengths. And then
that's a differentiator. I mean, if you have more compliance and certificates, then
so I think that definitely sets us apart, where you can kind of come to us and say, hey, I've got a location in Singapore, I've got a location in Amsterdam, I've got one in Chile. We can find solutions to ensure that jobs are done in those regions pretty quickly.
Nice.
So that's definitely one of our strengths. And then along with that, we've got a pretty cool portal coming out right now, so that backs up all this information and shows you the different areas that we've serviced.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what would you say a weakness that your company may have to work on, or just in the industry itself, ITAD industry, like a weakness?
I think our weakness is that it's a good weakness, but it's like we're growing pretty rapidly. So
it's a good problem to have.
Right now that's definitely something we're getting. We're definitely all running, so it's a good time right now. But in the overall industry, I feel that there's still a lack of knowledge for a lot of the way the work is done. And just to understand these certifications that I mentioned earlier, it's pretty important for larger enterprises or even medium-sized businesses to consider, because you want to know what your impact is on, and what your carbon impact is in the planet, right? So I feel like awareness, a lack of awareness for these things is probably a pretty big weakness. Sorry.
So you're eco-friendly.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you have to. I feel like in living in the Silicon Valley, right, where EV is the number one, it's the name of the game, and there's great leaders like NVIDIA that are doing amazing things. So I feel like, especially in the data center world, given the amount of that electricity that's being put out right now.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I hope they are, because they're contributing to a lot of the power that's being used right now. Their chips are
exactly the chips, and then also the hardware that we produce to kind of put out there and stuff, and then what happens to that hardware afterwards is very important. And
almost like the circle of life.
And our goal honestly has been that we just pretty much keep the circle going. So keep the hardware in the current infrastructure, current IT atmosphere, to ensure that there's proper longevity for everything that's kind of being passed through.
That's a good point. Just keep it going in a nice technological circle.
Exactly.
What about some opportunities in the industry or for your company?
Some opportunities.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the biggest opportunity for us is the AI race.
It's huge.
That's
Speaking of
causing,
NVIDIA.
exactly, right? And that's causing a lot of kind of, I guess, a double look at a lot of IT infrastructure for companies. So right now, it's a pretty opportunistic time for us to be in the game because we're seeing a lot of refreshes. We're part of a lot of refreshes right now all across the globe. We've like I was telling you, we're locking down contracts and we're locking down great partnerships. For example, in the AI space, we recently signed up with Nokia to be an authorized reseller of their data center space AI-based hardware.
I think our mutual friend Keith's involved.
Exactly.
I gotta get him on the podcast.
Yeah, you should. Keith's an awesome guy. Shout out to Keith. Keith's a great guy. Keith Swick, over at Nokia. So he's the one who assisted us on that. And then I think just everything that's happening right now in the data center space and the GPU space, it's a great opportunity for us because a lot of people are now refreshing and they're understanding, the advantages of this new power and this new compute that's coming out to the industry.
Yep. And last but not least, some threats to your company or the industry.
Oh, data. Data is, in my opinion, the only threat that exists in this world, and that exists in every single space.
What do you mean by that? Like at first glance, that doesn't. I don't know what that means.
Just the ability to properly handle data. Right?
Oh, handling the incoming.
So
of
just
the data.
generally, I see data as like kind of the centerpiece of the world, and then around data exists everything else, right? Everything that all the big companies are doing, everybody, even what we're doing right now is creating data, creating content, right? So just the use of data and the handling of data is the biggest threat in the world. And how that data is consumed.
But how does that impact your business or industry?
Oh, for us, it's pretty much we have to be very careful when it comes to handling data. So that's why we have a specific cage in our warehouse, and we shred data very properly. We document data very properly, and we have the proper chain of custody behind that data. Such things like hard drives and things like tapes.
So that's why I wanted to. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
And I think people...
Yeah. But just generally, just the idea of data to me is just like...
Well, yeah. I mean, just even getting back to the AI, your AI is only as good as your data source.
Exactly.
And in your case, it's about getting rid of the data so it doesn't get out there
100%.
Among other things.
Yep.
Well, our show is almost complete, but for those that have stayed tuned, we are now at the tarot reading segment.
Let's do it.
And I've already looked at the card. I have a pretty good idea. I mean, do you have any particular questions you like to be addressed or questions to be answered?
In regards to...
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
No, not really. I mean...
Because without having you answer, go ahead.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, there's not any particular questions because, everything's pretty self-explanatory when it comes into the world, as long as you've got the right eye to it.
Well, the card you selected was the Six of Pentacles.
Okay.
And so basically, a Pentacles is coin. So it's actually a commerce card because you're exchanging goods and services. And basically, what this card represents is generosity.
Okay.
And helping others. You're in a position to giving assistance.
Yep.
So as a business leader, that's basically the position. It sounds like that's something that you're doing actively. You're very generous with your networking of folks, your customers. Another part of this card is harmonious exchange of energy and resources.
Yeah.
So I feel like you do that very well. It's probably that's led to a lot of the success you've had, and I think this card is very apropos. So
I think that fits in. That's actually a good card.
Yep, and the Tarot Master's done it again.
Very nice.
Well, Abhi, thank you. Much appreciated. We'll see you all in the next episode, and everybody have a good rest of the week. Take care.
Thank you so much.